It's now been 1 week since the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy is now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as hell on earth. Fox 5's Lisa Evers is at MDC right now on Diddy's life behind bars. Lisa, what are you finding out tonight?
Well, Natasha and Steve, for the first time in his life, Sean Diddy Combs has spent a week behind bars. He's here inside MDC, where he's been since his arrest on Monday night on federal sex trafficking and other charges, to all of which he's pleaded not guilty. There's no VIP section, there is no concierge, only con men, killers, and kingpins. MDC is so bad, federal judges have questioned the harsh conditions for those here awaiting trial. So bad, I was here 2 years ago during a cold spell, reporting on detainees with no heat, pounding on windows for help. There was even a congressional inquiry. But take the word of a former inmate I spoke with who goes by Esco.
It's terrible. The food is terrible. Of course, the inmates are terrible. The guards are terrible. The conditions are terrible. It's just terrible.
Diddy's legal team has pulled their appeal for bail, and reports say that Diddy was seen crying when he realized he'll spend the next 6 months in jail. Both his lawyers and other inmates are claiming his life is at risk, with concerns that he might harm himself if he loses his case. He's facing a potential life sentence, assuming he makes it that long. Diddy himself feels he won't survive in prison, and he's already lost a lot of weight in just a few months. In a recent bail hearing, witnesses noted that Diddy now has gray hairs, and his family has stopped showing up to support him. Just weeks ago, Judge Ain Subban denied Diddy's bail request for a third time, stating that Diddy had been harassing other inmates and using their phone privileges to contact witnesses. With these new accusations, it's clear that Diddy is seen as a danger to the victims, and it seems unlikely he will be granted release now. In his decision, Judge Aaron stated that the court found the government's evidence to be strong and convincing, and no conditions could ensure public safety. To make matters worse, Diddy's legal team has confirmed the existence of the infamous freak-off tapes, which supposedly show him engaging in sexual acts with minors. While Diddy's team argues that the individuals in the tapes are not minors and weren't under the influence of drugs, this contradicts the testimony of numerous witnesses, including those who gave the tapes to the FBI. Desperate to secure Diddy's release, his team even offered $50 million in collateral, including Diddy's $48 million mansion in Miami, round-the-clock security monitoring, restrictions on his phone and internet use, and limited visits only from pre-approved family members. Additionally, Diddy and his family were prepared to surrender their passports. Former MDC inmate Larry Levine warns that Diddy's life is in jeopardy, as other inmates will likely target him to boost their street credibility, especially now that he's facing serious charges. To protect him, Diddy is being kept in protective custody for up to 23 hours a day to avoid the general population. Cameron Lindsay, a former warden at the MDC, described the facility as one filled with violence, overcrowding, and a lack of staff. Without enough guards to ensure his safety, it's unclear what could happen to Diddy. Lindsay referred to MDC as a hell on earth. Former inmate Timothy Smith also gave an exclusive interview, emphasizing that Diddy's greatest challenge will be loneliness. Isolated from his family, Diddy is struggling emotionally, and the lack of support is worsening his mental health. This isolation is contributing to his depression, and if it continues, it could break him. Gene Deal, who has spoken about Diddy's time in prison, believes Diddy may not have the resilience to survive behind bars. He may even harm himself if he comes to the realization that escape is impossible. Having lived a life of luxury, the brutal realities of prison life could be too much for him to bear. Criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool states that there's a 99% chance Diddy will never leave jail due to the overwhelming evidence against him. The Southern District of New York's DA's office has a 98% conviction rate, and those who avoid conviction usually take a plea deal. Diddy can't turn on his friends because they would kill him, but staying in prison means he will be targeted by inmates. With all the serious charges, the harsh conditions of prison life, and the likelihood of spending the rest of his life behind bars, it seems that Diddy's life has become a nightmare. The big question now is whether he will make it through the next 6 months, or if things will take a darker turn. What are your thoughts on this situation? Let me know in the comments.